it's an honor to introduce our speaker, Erica Wolf. She has over 2 decades of experience in Python, and she's also a passionate advocate for inclusive cultures. Today, she'll take us inside her own journey as a FLINTA Python engineer, navigating today's job market. She'll also offer concrete recommendations based on what genuinely helps open doors and what doesn't. And this is such an important and deeply relevant conversation, especially for anyone passionate about equity in tech. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Erica Wolf.
Hi, I am Erica Wolf. My pronouns are she, plus. I'm going to tell you about me and my job search in 2025. I am used to speaking before a live audience and not a camera lens. With a live audience, one take and my part is over. With this scheme, I get to review the video and try again and again and again. For me, this is a new kind of hell. In this presentation, I will make some recommendations based on my experience. Take these recommendations as a suggestion, not an answer. Definitely not the answer. First, the job market sucks for almost everyone. I'm not going to dwell on that very much. The tech job market is sometimes great and sometimes it sucks. For instance, in 2001, after the dot-com bust, the job market sucked. I went from driving a Porsche 911 to living in a VW bus. Yay, van life. Too bad Instagram didn't exist yet. In fact, Google wouldn't buy YouTube for 5 more years. This was me in 1997, just another programmer slinging C++ code in Tennessee. I just lost my job. I did not care. I could go down the street and find another job. 1997 was the start of the dot-com boom, a high point for the tech job market. Note, I held the title Senior Programmer in 1997 when Google was still known as Backrub. Now I'm going to share a photo show with you to help you understand the progression to where I am today. Here I am visiting my father's ashes in Arlington National Cemetery in Washington, D.C. This was just after getting my passport updated with my correct name and gender marker. Guadalajara, Mexico. I got to know Guadalajara, Mexico because there is a surgeon there who will work on transgender people for cash and not ask a lot of questions. Frankfurt am Main. And a day in Malaga, Spain. Note, my roller derby name is Tia Lobo. This is not my first time in Malaga, but it was my first time visiting La Tijuana. Chester, UK, and London. This was followed by a short side trip to Las Vegas. I won't say what happened there, other than it involved roller skates and a lot of protective gear. Malta for your pride. Gibraltar. I'm very fond of Gibraltar. And another side trip to visit my daughter in Buffalo, New York, where she was working on her master's degree in social work. That is Toronto, Canada in the background. Christmas with my mother in Florida. That is not my mother, that is an alligator. Then Berlin for a German language intensive at the Goethe Institute. Summer 2024 was spent in London for visa reasons. And here I am back in Berlin in spring 2025. This is a photo I like to use for online profiles. A quick reminder of why I left the US. In September 2025, the state of Florida decided to repaint rainbow crosswalks. This was a crosswalk that I personally helped repaint in 2023. And on the other side is an example of what the state did to erase the identity of people. I traveled a lot to figure out where I would end up. I even gave the US and Mexico a fair shake. I stayed in Berlin for a few reasons, definitely not the weather. First, I am German passing. There's actually an Erika Wolfstrasse in Potsdam. Germany has a strong economy, and there are many tech jobs in Berlin which don't require mastery of the German language. And Berlin is also very supportive of FLINTA people. I love the weather in Florida, just not the politics. So here I am in Berlin, 30 plus years of experience with all the degrees and certifications, and yet still no job. What's up with that? Before I was laid off, every week I was getting 2 to 3 recruiters looking to place me in junk roles. Now I only hear from recruiters about every 6 months, and I'd happily take a junk role. But so far, every recruiter has missed the mark entirely. A recruiter reached out to me last week on LinkedIn, but the employer wanted at least C1 level German. Ich kann Deutsch, aber nicht so good. Germany is not all it's cracked up to be, especially if you've never paid taxes, which I have not. I was born in Germany, but that in 5 years will get me a cup of coffee. I don't have health insurance. I can't use Agente for Arbeit. I can't get paid training. I used to apply to as many jobs as possible, job titles from quality analyst to principal engineer, anything I was qualified to do. In fact, I was applying to so many jobs it wasn't possible without help from AI in writing cover letters. That is the main reason I paid for Teal. The problem with this approach is the AI would flat out lie. It would regularly claim I had a BS in comp sci. I do have a bachelor's degree, but my BS is in mathematics, not computer science. Now I apply to 2 to 3 jobs a week that I hear about from networking and use Trello to manage it. I work as a CTO co-founder of startups in Berlin, which looks good on my CV and gives me a chance to play with new tech while getting my hands dirty starting companies in Berlin. I also mentor people. Everyone's looking for a job. And I'm a FLINTA ambassador for Unicorns in Tech, a group for LGBTQIA+ people in tech. A job that mostly involves standing around in bars and occasionally getting a pass for a conference. What would I do if I got a job tomorrow? Good question. I would definitely not do anything until I was paid. I would keep my cost of living about the same, about €1,200 a month. I might spend a little more on food and keep my urban sports club membership. I would split the difference of what is left, send half to my mother, and buy gold with the rest. And that leads me to my final bit of advice. Buy gold. It's portable, easy to exchange for cash, and it means your money isn't feeding the capitalist machine. I figure 10 grams is almost enough to cover a month's cost of living, and it's easy to count. For instance, the 5 bars here, pictured here, would net me about 5 months of cost of living. So remember, life is what happens while you're busy making other plans. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Erica, for that candid and thought-provoking presentation. Your honesty, vulnerability, and decades of experience in technical and leadership roles have given us a powerful look into the realities of job hunting as a FLINTA professional in 2025. Your insights have also offered us a perspective and a reminder of the urgent need to build more inclusive, psychologically safe hiring process across our industry. We really appreciate your voice and your expertise, and also your commitment to creating spaces where everyone can grow and belong. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us.